Hi guys, this is Additional Mathematics SPM trial paper for Selangor, Set 1, Paper 2. My name is Terry, I'm a math specialist. So in this video, we'll go through the whole paper. So let's start off with the first question, paper 1, right? So Billy invested 38,500 in 3 unit trusts. He divided the money into 3 different unit trust accounts. Amanah Saham Wawasan, Amanah Saham National, Amanah Saham Wawasan, and Amanah Saham Mas. At the end of the year, he obtained a profit of 1,877.50. Annual interest for each account is 4%, 5.5%, and 6%. So also, you're given the total amount in Amanah Saham National is 3 times Amanah Saham Mas. Okay, so you want to find out how much money did he actually invest in each unit trust account. So here's the thing, we need to form 3 equations, but the first thing is you need to assign a symbol for each variable. Like for example, the first one, Amanah Saham National. So maybe I put national here, national. So I'm going to call Amanah Saham National as X. Okay. The second one, Wawasan. Let's call Wawasan as Y. And the third one, Mas, as Z. So the first information is that the total amount that he invested is 38,500. So we can say X plus Y plus Z. Okay, so I tell you what, I'm going to write over here so I got more space to show you. X plus Y plus Z should be 38,500. Now we can drop the unit. I don't have to write the unit. Yeah, RM. Don't need to do that. Okay, the second equation would be the amount of interest that he's getting, right? So 4%, we can actually write 0.04, right? 0.04, 4% is 400. For X, for Amanah Saham National, 5.5% for Amanah Saham National, a Wawasan, so we put 0.055 Y, and for Amanah Saham Mas, I'm going to put 0.06 Z, 6%. So this total is 1,877.50. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people don't like this decimal here. So what we can do is we can simplify this to the lowest term. So, but the thing is, I think we should see which number I should, I can't just multiply by 100, because if you multiply by 100, you notice this is going to be 4%, 0.04 times 100 is 4. This is 5.5, this is 6. So that means I still have a decimal point here. So or if not, we can just do this 0.055. You can see it's 11 over 200. So what I need to do in order to get rid of decimal is to multiply everybody by 200. So when you multiply by 100, this would be 4. If you multiply 200, you'll be 8, right? If you multiply 200, that's what I've shown you just now, is 11 over 200. You multiply 200, you get 11, right? And 6, if I multiply 200, I get 12. Okay, but this number, a bit big, 1877.5, I multiply by 200, I should get 37,550. Yeah, 37,550. So let's call this equation number 2. Okay. Oh, there's one more zero actually. Yeah. The 375,500. Yeah, one more zero, sorry. So now for the third equation is the amount of money invested in Amanah Saham National. National is X. Is 3 times Amanah Saham Mas. Mas is Z. So X is 3Z. Let's call this equation 3. Okay, to solve these 3 equations simultaneously, especially when you're given one of them as a subject, I think substitution will be easier. So we'll take equation 3, I sub inside equation 1 first. So instead of writing X, over here, we don't write X, we write 3Z plus Y plus 1Z, you get 38,500. So let's simplify further. So I will have Y plus 4Z equals 38,500. But to simplify this further, maybe I can make Y as a subject. My Y is 38,500 minus 4Z. Call this equation number 4. All right. Now, I still need to sub equation 3 inside equation number 2 to get rid of my X. You get 3Z, 8 times 3Z, 11Y plus 12Z This is 375,500. Okay, 8 times 3 is 24. 24 plus 12 is 36. So this will be 11y plus 36z equals 375,500. Equation number 5. Okay, I've got 4 and 5 already, so I need to sub equation 4 inside equation 5. Yeah, sorry, I think I may not have enough space, so I better do it over here. Sub equation 4 inside equation 5. So 11, 38500 minus 4z, then you plus with 36z, the result is 375,500. So big number here, we should use your calculator. 11 times 38500. Okay, this will give us 423500. Yeah, 423500. 11 times 4 is 44z. Then I have a 36z. The result is 375,000. Minus 44 plus 36 is going to give us negative 8. Negative 8z. 375. If I take 375, 0, okay, there's 1 5 here, 50. I minus this answer, 423,500. So take this, take 375,500 minus this answer. I got 4,800, negative 48,000. When you divide by 8, Z is just 6,000. So that means the amount that he invested in Amanah Saham Mas is 6,000 ringgit. Okay, let's find out your Wawasan and National. Maybe National first, since it's easier. Sub inside equation 3. National is X. X is 3 times 6,000. That will be 18,000. And finally, we sub inside equation number 4. I find my Y. My Y is my Amanah Saham Wawasan. 38500 minus 4 times Z. Z is 6,000. That's 24,000. So minus 24 is 14,500. All right. There you go. I got all 3 answers. Okay, let's move on to question number 2. So this is for the chapter differentiation. The previous one is from Form 4, Chapter 3, System Equation. This is Form 5, Chapter 2, Differentiation. So the first thing I need to do is to find, we're finding what? The rate of change of a radius, yeah? When you have a cylinder, now this cylinder, if I draw out a cylinder for you, it has a height of h, right? And the h is twice the radius. So let's do h here, and this is twice the radius. Now, volume of cylinder, as we know, is pi r square h. So we can just substitute your h inside. So this is 2 pi r cubed. Okay, we are given that the volume of this cylinder increases at this rate. That means your dV dr, dV dt rate is upon time. dV dt is 3. But I'm finding rate of change of the radius. I'm finding dr dt. To find dr dt, I must first find dV dr. Okay, so let's differentiate this dV dr. Differentiate your v, you get 6 pi r squared. Remember, bring the power down. 3 times 2 is 6. Copy pi, copy r, reduce the power by 1. And we want to find the rate when your r is 9. The radius is 9. So let's substitute 9 inside. 9 squared is 81. 81 times 6, 486 pi. Yeah, again, you're not sure, just use your calculator. 6 times 9 squared, 486. Okay, now if you know your dV dr and you're finding your dr dt, so we can use what we call the chain rule. Dr dt is dr dv dv dt. Now remember, these two must be the same so that when I cancel them, right, I'm getting back dr dt. So this is called the chain rule. Okay, my dr dv already have it here. It's just 1 over of 486 pi. My dv dt I'm given as 3, so just cancel them. Now, you can actually leave it as 1 over 48 divided by 3 is 16, 6 divided by 3 is 2. We can leave it like this, or you can change to decimal. Now, when you change to decimal, all right, normally the question would tell you use pi equals 3.142, but here it's not stated. So it's okay if you use your calculator pi. So 1 over 162 pi, if you sub inside, you will get one, it's a very small number, 0.00196. 0.00196. Okay, now next, calculate the rate. Oh, by the way, you can write the rate as cm per second. If you don't want to write the unit, it's fine. Okay, so we'll leave our answer in terms of pi. I think it's easier, right? Don't have to change decimal. It's not necessary to do so. Now, calculate the rate of change of water level when the radius is 6. Okay, now I want to find my dH dt. Now, the problem is I need to go back and find V in terms of H. Yeah, I need to form another equation. We know that volume earlier from here is pi r square H. So if you're finding dH dt, I must have V in terms of H. And we know that your R is twice, should I say height is twice the radius. So your R is H over 2, right? Your radius is half of your height. So your volume now, you have to rewrite this. Pi, what's your radius now? H over 2 square H. So this will be, if you cube it, is H power 3. This is 1 over 4 pi H cubed. So again, if before you find your rate of change of H, dH dt, we must find what's your dH dV or dV dH. So we can differentiate this dV dH, bring the power down 3 over 4 pi H squared. Now, we know that we're finding the rate when your R is 6, and your R is 2 times, it is twice, if you times over, it's actually half the height, or should I say the height is twice of your radius. So I have to substitute my height with 12. If your R is 6, your height is 12. You square it. So this is 3 over 4. 3 over 4 times 12 square. Yeah, I should get 108 pi. Okay, we're not done yet because we're finding what? We're finding dH dt. And again, we can say it's dH dV times dV dt. Your dV dt remains unchanged, but your dH dV is now 1 over 108 pi. Remember, the dV dH means when your H increased by 1 unit, your volume increased by 108 pi unit. So this is the other way around. When your volume increased by 1 unit, your height actually increases by 1 over 108 pi unit. And as we multiply with your dV dt, which is 3, you can simplify this 1 over 36 pi. Again, you can change to decimal. If you change to decimal, it's 1 over 36. Then, okay, maybe I should use fraction like this, 36 pi. There you go, 0.00884. Very, very small value. So if you don't want to change to decimals, okay, 0.00884. Okay, so this will be, the unit will be in cm, since it's also height, the height is also in cm per second. All right. Okay, let's move on to question number 3. This is a vector from for chapter 8. All right. Okay, this is called vector geometry. So the first thing I need to do is to find the vector PS. Now, for me, I'll label everything in the diagram first. Vector PR is given as 8x. So I'm going to write 8x here. Vector PQ is 6y. Vector RS is 2y. And what else are you given? You're supposed to find PS. Okay, very simple. Look at the diagram. To go from P to S, I can go P to R, R to S. Yeah, very simple, right? You can see that, right? P to R, R to S. So I'm just going to write this directly is 8x plus 2y. Next one, how about vector QR? Vector QR, so I'm going to use a hand tool. Q to P, P to R. So this is minus 6y plus 8x, right? We can write the answer straight away because it's only 1 mark each, 2 marks. So minus 6y plus 8x. Now, you can rewrite this. Normally, we put a negative at the back, the positive in front. But if you don't do that, it's okay. Yeah, it's okay to leave it as minus 6y plus 8x. Okay, next, you're given PT equals to HPS. That means this is H. PT is HPS, and QT is KQR. So this is another unknown K that we're finding. All right, you're supposed to express PT in terms of HXY, and then in terms of KXY. So for HXY, I know I have to use this root. I need to go directly. Yeah. So to go directly, we can say that PT is H time of PS. Now, since I know PS from the first part here, see, I got PS from part 1. I'm going to sub inside here, 8x plus 2y. When you multiply inside, you get 8hx plus 2hy. Okay, there you go. That is vector PT. Now, the second one, you want your answer in terms of K. In terms of K means we have to use this root here, P to Q, Q to T, right? So I'm going to write my second answer. I'm going to write here, PT equals to P to Q plus Q to T. Now, PQ is just 6y. QT is K times of QR. Since I know QR, right? My QR is here, the first part here. Just use the result. I'm going to sub inside. This will be K 8x minus 6y. Now we're going to multiply the K inside 1 by 1. This will give us 8kx plus 6y minus 6ky. Put together your ky, right? Put together your y, you factorize your y. Here you get 6 minus 6ky. There you go. You got two versions of PT. All right, next one. You're supposed to solve for part C, supposed to solve for H and K. Okay, very simple. Now we got two versions of PT, right? They both are moving the same direction here. End up getting the same thing here, PT. Yeah? One is going up, coming down. One is going directly. So to find the value of H and K, we can just equate these two vector PT. So that is the first will be HHX plus 2hy. You let it be equals to the second one, which is 8kx plus 6 minus 6k bracket 1. So when you equate them, we can now compare the individual vector. Vector x, the coefficient of x, okay, let me highlight for you, is 8h. This is 8k. So we can say that 8h is 8k. When you divide by 8, h is just k. Call this equation 1. Then we compare our vector y. The number in front of your y is 2h, and this is 6 minus 6k. So we say 2h is 6 minus 6k. Your h is 3 minus 3k. Equation number 2. So just solve them simultaneously to find h and k. Yeah? So we sub equation 1 inside equation 2. So k is now 3 minus 3k. Bring over 4k is now 3. K is 3 over 4. Okay, if our k is 3 over 4, we just sub back inside equation number 1. Your h is also 3 over 4. There you go. You got your values of h and k. Okay, moving on to question number 4. So this is Form 4, Chapter 5 progression. So this is one of the most interesting question, but there's, I would say there's a error in the question actually. I'll tell you about it. Yeah. Okay, so let's start off with the first part. Okay. Now read the whole thing. Does an insurance company offer a saving plan where customer only has to deposit saving for 10 years? So they deposit for saving for 10 years from arithmetic progression. The monthly deposit for first 3 years are 200, 250, and 300. Yeah. Okay. So now then they say, okay, if you save now, enjoy in the future. Enjoy compound interest 10% per annum for 11 years onwards. So quit within 10 years, get back 5% on the total saving. Okay, so now coming wishes to stop saving and withdraw all his saving after 6 years. How much money will Coming gets back from the insurance company? Okay, so here's the thing. The first thing you have to understand is that we're talking about annual saving now. The first month, you put in 200. For the first year, you put 200 per month. So that's monthly deposit. So if you multiply by 12, in 1 year is 2,400. That is for the first year, right? First year, 2,400. Now, if you want to find out your T2, we take 250, we times with 12, that will, or should I say, you can actually find your D straight away, a common difference, because you increase by 50, you can actually do that as well. So this is 3,000, yeah? Your second year, you're paying 3,000. So your common difference will be 3,000 minus 2,400, that is 600. So the first year, you're paying total annual premium of 2,400. The second year, you increase by, you increase to 3,000. So the total increment is 600. So for the first 6 years that he put in, yeah, is incremental. He's paying more and more. So the total amount that he's putting in can be given by Sn. This is an arithmetic progression. You can see it increases at a constant rate. So we take 6 over 2. Remember the formula for Sn? N over 2, 2a plus n minus 1 would be 5. D is 600. Well, you can just use a calculator here. 6 over 2 is 3. You multiply 2 times 2,004 is 4,800. 5 times 6,600 is 3,000. There you go. Amount is 23,400. Now, this 23,400 represent the amount that coming put in the first 6 years. Okay. Now, if he wishes to withdraw all his saving after 6 years, he will get 5% interest, right? So when we say 5% interest, we're talking about 100% plus 5. So that's 105, total 105. So how much money will he get back? So the amount that he'll get back in this case is 105 over 100 multiplied by 23,400. Let's count. 105. You can type this as 1.05 times 23,400. So he will get back 24,570. 24,570 in total. Okay, first part, Ken? All right, let's move on to the second part. I put it separately, yeah? So this is another person, Jessica. Jessica has saved under this plan since 15 years ago. Now she wishes to withdraw all her money. So how much money in total Jessica will get? So here's the thing, the first 10 years, right? Okay, read the question. The first 10 years, she put in, you need to deposit for 10 years, all right? Correct? On the 11th year onwards, you don't have to put in any more money, right? So it's only for first 10 years. But on the 11 years onward, you get 10% interest, right? You get 10% interest from the 11 years onwards. So now Jessica is putting the money in for 15 years. Okay, so the first thing is we want to find out how much money she has at the end of the first 10 years. Okay, so we have to use S10. All right, so S10 is now 10 over 2, 2a, 2,400. N minus 1 is 9. D is 600. Okay, let's count. So this is 5. 10 over 2 is 5. This is 2,400 times 2, 4,008. 9 times 6 is 5,400. Okay, so the amount of money she has is 51,000. So at the end of the 10 year, right, she has put in altogether 51,000. Okay, now here's the thing, okay? All right, this question is quite complicated, okay? Now, so how much money she will get and what is the average annual interest rate that she'll get? Okay, so let's talk about the total amount of money she will get, all right? So, and she will get extra 10% on her savings, yeah? Enjoy 10% per annum from 11 years onwards. Okay, so this is the amount that she has at the end of the 10 year. In the 11th year, right? So she will begin with this amount, but she won't be putting in additional money. So it is now a geometric progression with your first term of 51,000. Your common ratio, you're getting 10%, so it's 110 over 100, which is 1.1. Now, see, the question says 15 years. So if it's 15 years, you must get interest for a full 15 years. So here's the confusing part. do you use T5 or do you use T4, right? So this is the confusing part. So beginning of the 11th year, she has 15,000, 51,000. At the end of the 15th year, or should I say at the beginning of the 12th year, right? So she will get this amount, she will get 1%, 10%. So it's 1.1. On the 13th, this is after 11. After 11 years is the 12th year, it's T12, right? So this amount that she will get. After 13, this amount will be compounded again, 1.1 square. Now, 14, 15. Now, here's the thing. After 16 years, after 15 years, is actually T16. Not, it's actually, sorry, T5, right? Sorry, I should write here. This is your T1, T2, T3, this is T4, this is T5, this is your T6, which is 5,000, 51,000, right? 1.1 power 5. Because you get the interest for full 5 years. Yeah, we're saying after 15 years, right? Okay, so this will be 51,000, 1.1 power 5. There you go, 82,136. I think you can drop the cent. 82136. Yeah, RM 82136. You want, you can write 0.01. Okay, so that's the amount that she's getting, right? But I think if you look at the solution, the marking scheme, they actually use T5. It's supposed to be T6, yeah, not T5, right? It's supposed to be T6. Okay, anyway, now what is the average annual interest rate that she gets from the saving? Okay, so this is the difficult question to actually solve, because now the solution or the marking scheme actually based on the fact that they take the total amount and you divide by 15. Okay, so I show you the standard way. So now what we are saying, what the marking scheme is saying is that you are getting 10% for 5 years, right? This is your total amount, but you actually started saving since 15 years ago. So what is the total interest that you're getting, right? If you want to find out the annual average interest rate, right? Actually, when you talk about annual average interest rate, we can actually use a compound interest or simple interest, right? So normally in real life, we use compound interest, but here they're using simple interest to calculate, which is actually not an accurate value, but an accurate way. So this is what they do, okay? They take the amount of money you have at the end of the 15 years versus the amount of money you put in. So amount of interest, or should I say total interest will be 82,136.01 u minus 51,000, right? Okay, so that's your total interest. Let me just take the difference. This minus 51,000. So how much interest you're getting here in total? 31,300. 31,136, right? So this is 31,136.01. Okay, so this interest is for the whole duration. So to calculate the average interest, right, they just take this amount, divide average interest rate, we have to use rate. We take 31,136.01, divide by your total investment, 51,000. And then you times 100, and this amount you divide by 15, because we are talking about interest rate for average interest rate for the whole 15 years. But if you want annual interest rate, yeah, annual interest rate, you got to divide by 15. Okay, let's count. Let me show you here. Okay, take this amount, divide by 51000. Okay, you times 100. That means you're getting like ROI, return on investment, of 61%. But you divide by 15, you're only getting 4.07%, right? You're only getting 4.07%. Okay, so I just want to talk to you guys a bit of disclaimer why this question is kind of confusing to some people, because you see, when she put the money, she actually started off putting 2,400 in the first year. In the second year, the 2,400, you keep adding another amount. So if you're talking about finding using compound interest, right? We want to find out the annual average interest rate. This will be increased by R. Then she put in, there will be another amount, 2,400. Sorry, you increase the amount to 3,000. Remember, this one you have to increase the new amount that you put in. On the third year, this 2,400, you multiply by your average interest rate, R squared. This will be 3,000 multiplied by R, then will be 3,600 multiplied added in. So here's the thing that is making it complicated, because you're not putting all the money at the same time. So we cannot say that the 51,000 is actually accrued interest of 4% on average for 15 years, because you don't put the money all in at the same time. You put 2,400 in the first year, second year you add in a 3,000, the third year you add in 3,600, and so forth until the 10th year, right? So you get what I'm talking about. So this one will be 2,400 R9 and so on, right? So everything has to, the money is put in a different point, a different time, then it's compounded differently. So that's why this is a very simplistic way of counting, which may not actually be accurate, right? Yeah, and it's actually using simple interest rate of calculating, yeah, which is actually not accurate, because you don't put the same amount of money in at the same time, right? So I think I shouldn't go further on this, because this is becoming too complicated, too complex. All right. So what to do for now? We have to accept or just use this as the way to solve part B here. Okay, so let's move on to question number 5. So this is your Form 5, Chapter 1, circular measure. Okay, so the first thing is you have a circle here. Read the question now. You have two concentric circle with center O. ABC is a tangent to the circle. OA equals to OAC equals OC. OD is 8 cm. Diagram 3B shows the outline of the logo produced. Okay, so now by using pi as 3.142, we want to show that the length of OA equals to 16 sub 3 over 3. Okay, so number one, they already say that this OA equals AC equals OC. Maybe I can draw here. Okay, it's an equilateral triangle. Let me draw over here. Okay, looks like equilateral. This is 60 degree. This A, C, O. These three are equal length. Each length, I don't know the length, but I know my OD is 8 cm. Now, OD is actually from here to here, which is the same as O to B, right? So this is O to B. Yeah? Can you see? OD is the radius of the smaller one. We're now finding the radius of the bigger one, right? Now, when you cut this in the middle, this will be 30, right? By the way, I hope you all know why it's 60, because OA equals AC equals OC. So that means these three are equal length, is equilateral. So we halve it. This will be 30, this is 60, this is 90, this is 8. So we can use SOHCAHTOA, right? Up to you which one to find the length of OA. So here, I think I'll just use sine, yeah, sine 60. Yeah, you can use cos 30 if you want. Okay, so I use sine 60. Sine 60 is your opposite 8 over hypotenuse OA. 8 is your opposite. OA is your hypotenuse. Sine 60, if you use this calculator, you can actually find directly. Yeah? Just make sure your calculator is in degree mode. Yeah. Sine 60, you should get sub 3 over 2. This will be 8 over OA. Bring over. OA is now 16 over sub 3. We should rationalize the denominator by multiplying top and bottom by sub 3. I got 16 sub 3 over 3. Right? Shown, huh? Okay, so this is the first part. Second part, we want to find the difference between the length of arc AC and DE. Arc AC is here, arc DE is this. Well, they have the same angle subtended at the center, which is 60. 60, this is 60, yeah? The whole thing is 30 plus 30 is 60, yeah? Or pi over 3. But they have different radius. Now, the bigger radius I already know. OA has a radius of 16, so 3 over 3. OB has a smaller radius, as you can see, which is 8. This is 8 from here to here. So the difference in their length of arc will be length of arc AC. AC is bigger, which is R 16 sec 3 over 3 times theta. Okay, for 60 degree, right, what we can do is we can convert it to radians straight away. We can write this as pi over 3. So I'm going to put in here pi over 3 minus the length of arc DE, which is smaller. Radius is 8, theta is pi over 3. But remember to use 3.142 because the question stated here, use pi as 3.142. So we take 16 over 3, set 3. If you want, you can actually factorize it. You minus 8. Okay, let me just factorize it. Take out, it's easier. Don't have to write so many, don't have to type so many things on calculator. You find the difference in their length. All right, the radius. You multiply by pi, 3.142, divide by 3. 60 degrees pi over 3. There you go. I got 1.296. Yeah, 1.296. For significant figure will do. Okay, this is B Roman 1. B Roman 2, we are finding the area of the blue region. Well, the area of the blue region is actually, if you rub this off, consists of 6 parts of this. Okay, let me just join this together. This part here is equivalent to this, right? So I got 2 of this, 3 of this, 4 of this, 5 of this is 6. I know it's 6 because one part is 60. When you take 360 divided by 60, because the angle subtended at the center is 60, then you have 6 parts of this area, right? So we find one area, then we times 6, right? And area this is not difficult to find. We basically take area of triangle minus area of sector. My sector will look like this. Area triangle minus area sector to get the 2 shaded region here. Now, area of triangle, I can say, since I know the height, I know the length of the base, we can also find out. Now, you can actually use half AB sine C or half times base times height. Okay, the thing is, if you want to find half times base times height, we need to use the base as AC, which is 6 sec 3 over 3, because it's the same. AC and OA has the same length. So I take half times base times height. My height is 8. I minus area sector, half your radius. For this sector, the smaller sector here, OABD, the radius is 8. Your theta is pi over 3. Okay, let's calculate one part of this, then I times 6. Okay, you can actually times 6 straight away. If you want, you can multiply by 6 straight away. So I just count one first, I'll show you here. Half times base 16 sec 3 over 3 times height, which is 8. I minus half. Your radius is 8. Square theta is 3.142. Remember to use 3.142 over 3. Guys, I got 3.436. Up to you. You want to use more decimal point, also can 3.436, right? 3.436. Now, this is one part. The total area, you have to times 6. Yeah. Your total area, you take 3.436 times 6, right? If you want a more accurate answer, you take more decimal point, okay? Let's say if I take this times 6, I'll get 20.61. But if you take 3.436 times 6, I'll get 20.62. Yeah, slight difference in the answer. It's up to you, 20.62, or you can write 20.61. Yeah. Yeah, if you use 3.43575 just now, right? You times 6, you get 20.61, which is fine. Yeah, it's actually even more accurate. Yeah? So these two answers are okay. All right. Okay, moving on to question number 6. This is your Form 5. chapter 3 integration. Yeah, Form 5 chapter 3 integration. Okay, so let's start. Here we have two curves y equals x squared and y squared equals to 8x. They're intersecting at point A. So straight line AB is parallel to y-axis. Okay, so find equation of AB. Well, when the line is parallel to y-axis means it is a vertical line. Vertical line is x equals to a number. So that means we had to find the x coordinate of these two equation, these two point of intersection. So I can actually sub equation 1 inside equation 2. Find your x, you're not finding y. I sub your y inside. So this is x square equals to 8x. When you expand, this is x power 4. Bring the 8x over, equals 0. Take out common factor, x power 3 minus 8 equals 0. Now, obviously, x cannot be 0 because x is on the right-hand side of your y-axis. So your x cubed is 8. X is now cube root of 8, which is 2. Now, like I say, a vertical line is, equation of vertical line is x equals to a number. In this case, x equals to 2. So that is your answer for part A. All right. Part B, you're finding area of the shaded region. Now, you can see here, your shaded region consists of, is obtained by taking the bigger curve, the curve on top, minus the curve below. The curve on top is given by this equation, y squared equals to 8x. So what we can do is we can take y and square root it. Square root is 8. Well, when you square root this, we can square root them separately. Square root 8 and square root x. Square root x means x power half. I'll leave it as x power half so that it's easier for us to integrate. All right, the bigger one will be integration 0 to 2. Now that I know this x is 2, right? This area here, the curve above is square root 8 x power half. Now you can simplify your square root 8. I know some of you would use your calculator and change to 2 set 2. Yes, you can do that. Square root 8 is 2 set 2 if you simplify it. If not, just leave it first. Then you subtract the one below. The one below, the curve below here is given by y equals x squared. So we write x squared dx 0 to 2 as well. Okay, so when you integrate x power half, remember we have to increase the power by 1. Half plus 1 is 3 over 2. Divide by 3 over 2. And then lower limit 0, upper limit 2. When you integrate x power 2 is x power 3, increase the power by 1, 3, divide by 3, 0 to 2. Now let's take this and flip this up. When you flip up, you have 2 square root 8 over 3. Let's put 2 inside. 2 power 3 over 2, then you minus 0. Yeah, a 0 is the easiest because you have to put 0 inside. Everything else is 0. Now let's put 2 inside here. 2 power 3, I'll get 8 over 3 minus 0. Now, do you know that 2 power 3 over 2 is actually 2 power 3, which is 8, right? And then square root. So it's actually square root of 8. So you can write this one more step, square root 8 over 3 times square root 8. This will be minus 8 over 3. So square root 8 times square root 8 is going to give us 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So it's 16 over 3 minus 8 over 3. I should get 8 over 3. Now you can't do that mentally. You can use a calculator. 8 over 3 is 2 over 3. Yeah, 2 over 3. So your area, we write unit square. Okay, but if you don't write the unit, it's fine. Yeah, don't have to write the unit. No marks is given for writing unit. Okay, next one. Volume generated in terms of pi when the region P is which is bounded by curve y equals x squared. All right, straight line AB and x-axis is revolved 360 degrees about x-axis. So when you rotate about x-axis, sorry, my diagram looks a bit ugly, so it looks like that. Okay, you don't have to draw it, just so you know the shape that you're getting looks something like this. So volume of solid revolution is given by pi y squared dx. My y is now x squared. I need to square it, put a dx, right? So remember, it's this curve over here. The equation is y equals x squared. Your lower limit is 0, upper limit is 2. So let's take out the pi 0 to 2. Before you integrate, let's power this first. X power 2, x power 2 is square root is x power 4. So when I integrate, I get pi x power 5 over 5, 0 to 2, sub inside So this is actually 2 power 5 is 32 over 5 minus 0. 32 over 5 is actually 6, 2 over 5. There you go. That's your answer, unit cube. Yeah, normally we leave your answer in terms of pi. But again, you can use your calculator to validate your answer. For example, if you have this calculator, right, we can just integrate, like even the first part, I can integrate for you square root 8, right? Alpha x, x is this, close bracket. You have to type alpha first followed by x. And then this is a power half, 1 over 2. Lower limit 0, upper limit is 2. There you go. Okay, the problem is they'll give you in, okay, this will take some time, right? 16 over, yeah, 5. This is 5.333. Yeah, 5, 1 over 3. Yeah. Yep. So that's the thing. You need to type in original function, then you minus the second one. Yeah. If you want, you can actually add in here since they have the same limit, right? So, but this will take some time. Let me just validate. All right. See, this take some time. Wait for a while. You should get 2.66, right? Okay, can you see? So that's for you to double check your answer, right? You can do the same for the second one. The second one is easier. It does, you don't have to wait too long because it doesn't have square root. When you have power half, it takes a bit longer. So here we can put x power 4. This is for double checking purpose. X power 4, lower limit 0, upper limit 2. Oh, this is faster. 32 over 5 or 6, 2 over 5. Yeah, you can leave it as 32 over 5 or mixed number. Yeah, 6, 2 over 5. All right. Okay, let's move on to question number 7. Okay, so this one involving trigonometry from 5, chapter 6. Okay, so the first part is proving, right? You're supposed to show that cos x plus sine x bracket square minus cos x minus sine x bracket square equals to 2 sine 2x. Okay, so one way of proving is always the way in which we write is always we start from the left-hand side, we work on to the right-hand side. Well, actually, sometimes we also start from the right, we work towards the left. So the bottom line is we start with the side that has more number of terms, more complicated, and we simplify to whatever we get on the right-hand side. Yeah. So first, let's expand this. You don't have to copy the question anymore because we can just expand directly. This is already stated is your left-hand side. Remember a plus b square. When you square it, you get cos square x plus 2ab, 2 times cos x times sine x. Then you plus with sine square x. Then you minus, put a bracket here, expand this bracket here, cos square x minus 2 cos x sine x. Then you plus with sine square x, right? So let's just expand this whole thing. Okay, let me do a bit slower so that you understand. This is cos square plus 2 cos x. Okay, instead of writing 2 cos x sine x, I think I will write 2 sine x cos x, right? Why? Because I know sine 2x. Sine 2x is 2 sine x cos x. Yeah, one good thing is we can always take a peep at the right-hand side. Look at what we have here. So we know we need to use this 2 sine x cos x. But what we have here is 2 cos x sine x. I can just switch their position. And then we add with sine square x minus cos square x plus 2. Again, I don't want to write cosine, I write sine cos. 2 sine x cos x minus sine square x. Okay, now let us cancel out your cos square and cos square. All right, let me just cancel the sine square and sine square. As for these two, I can just group them together, right? So what we have here is 4 sine x cos x, which is actually double of this. So I put a 2 here, 2 sine x cos x, which gives us 2 sine 2x, which is the same as your right-hand side. Okay, so it's not too difficult. All right. Okay, second part, we are supposed to sketch a graph. Part B, sketch the graph of this. Now, notice that this entire thing is actually the same as this, right? So what graph are we sketching now? Well, for B Roman 1, we are sketching the graph of 2 sine 2x. Okay, I hope you remember by now, what does the 2 in front represent? The 2 in front represent your amplitude. Now, a normal sine graph, a basic sine graph looks like this, right? The moment you put a 2 in front, okay, maybe I just draw one extra one. So a basic sine has an amplitude of 1. The moment you have a 2 in front, meaning you stretch it up by 2, your maximum is 2, minimum is -2. And what does the 2x here represent? The two ways to think of it. Number one, we think in terms of number of complete cycle from 0 to 2 pi. That means here, when you draw a simple sine x, we draw one complete cycle. One complete cycle has 4 quadrants, 1, 2, 3, 4, up, down, down, up. But the moment you have 2 sine 2x, so we're going to double it. Yeah, so we draw 1 and 2. Another way of thinking is to think of it as period. Period for sine graph is 2 pi divided by b. B is the number in front here. You divide by 2, answer is pi, meaning the sine graph complete one cycle here at pi. So I can label this 1, 2, minus 1, minus 2. I know my graph should look like this. Okay, so I know I have to go through this point up. Okay, sorry, a bit ugly. It goes up, touches this point, come back down. Okay, this part a bit ugly here, so make sure it passes through here. This is not easy. Okay, still look a bit ugly. Yeah, sorry for being a perfectionist. So this one is supposed to go down. Okay, your graph should be a bit curvy and not too straight, not too fat. Okay, this part I need to change it. Maybe I should stop here, go up here. Okay, this one looks better. This one has to go up here. Up here. Okay, this is off. Okay, it looks a little bit better. Okay, this one I'm missing a point. Better. This one go down. Okay, a bit off. And okay, this part is a bit off. Okay, I think it's all right. Okay, so now I've got my sine 2x graph, 2 sine 2x graph done. All right, now then they say determine the range of number of solution n if this equation equals to p is a constant and p is a number between -1 and 2. Okay, so understand this. This whole equation here, this entire thing is your 2 sine 2x. And the result is now p. So this is Roman 2. So what we are saying is this solution can be solved graphically by drawing two graphs. So the first graph is y equals to 2 sine 2x. The second graph is y equals to p. Now, we know p is a constant. So when you draw y equals to like 1, constant 1, it's a horizontal line that passes through 1, right? When you say y equals to 2, horizontal line that passes through 2. So they say p is a value between -1 and 2, meaning I'm going to draw a horizontal line here, -1 and 2. So it's a horizontal line at -1, right? And a horizontal line at 2. Can you see? So you can see that between these two range, right, you can have multiple number of solutions. Okay, let's say I draw y equals to -1. Okay, I better, okay, I write y equals -1 here, and this is y equals 2. Okay, at y equals -1, how many solutions? 1, 2, 3, 4. Remember, the number of solution is the number intersection. So if I draw maybe here at y equals 0, how many solutions would you have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my n is 5. Just now, my n equals to 4. And if I draw on top here, also 4, you can draw this 4, right? So I don't have to, it's the same. If I draw on top here, how many solutions? 1 and 2. So my number of solutions is 2. So we are supposed to determine the range of the number of solution. So your range of n, right? Your n can be smallest to largest 5. All right. Interesting question. Okay, let's move on to question number 8. Okay, so this is from 5 chapter 5 probability distribution. So the first part is actually a binomial distribution. Okay, in fact, this is what we call a two-stage binomial, a binomial within a binomial. Okay, so first of all, you have a crossword puzzle published in a newspaper daily, right? Sarah complete on average, not average, on average 3 out of 5 crossword puzzle. So it is a binomial, right? Okay. Well, when we say you want to find the probability that Sarah could complete at least 6 crossword puzzle in a week. Now, 1 week we have 7 days. The probability that she complete the puzzle is 3 over 5, or you can say 0.6. By the way, this is a notation for binomial distribution. If you don't write this, it's okay. This is your N, this is your P. Yeah, N stands for number of trials. P is probably a success for each trial. So you want to find the probability that she complete at least 6. At least 6 means x greater equals to 6. So we can do it this way. We can say is either 6 or 7. So the probability that she complete 6 will be 7 choose 6. By the way, the formula for binomial is given by this px equals r, ncr, p power r, q, n minus r. Well, my p is now 3 over 5. R in this case is 6. Q is probably a failure. P is probably a success. Success means in this case, she can complete. Yeah, it's 3 over 5. Failure means she couldn't complete, which is 2 over 5. Yeah, you get Q by using 1 minus P. If your P is 3 over 5, your Q is 1 minus 3 over 5, which is 2 over 5. Then you plus with 7, choose all 7, 3 over 5 power 7, 2 over 5 power 0. Okay, you can choose to use your calculator normally if you want, right? But do you know that you can actually use this? This calculator is so good, right? Okay, I show you the standard way. This one you type in the normal way in using your calculator. You can even use the sum formula. For this calculator, right, we can actually use shift sum, all right? 7C x, instead of using r, we use x, alpha x, then your probability of success is 3 over 5 power alpha x. Your probability of failure is now q, 2 over 5 power 7 minus x, yeah, n minus x. So if you want to find from 6 to 7, just add them up. There you go. 0.1586. Yeah, 0.1586. Just alternative to the normal way of typing. You can type one by one, like, as usual, just add them up together, or you can use this to calculate one shot. Okay, on the other hand, some people may want to use this calculator because this calculator is also very fast. You press mode, you press 7, all right? You press binomial PD. PD means probability density. Yeah, number 4, you go to list here. Now, why do I do list? Because I want, list means I find multiple value. For example, in this case, I go list. I want 6 and 7. So I go 6, I go 7, all right? Then my n is 7. My probability of success is 3 over 5. Then I just key in this, right? So I don't have to type in a lot more things. However, I'm actually finding this one by one. Okay, so this is 0.1586. So I can just write this down, 0.1586. Okay, so this part here, you can just read 0.1306, 0. Okay, maybe you want to use more decimal point, 1306. Okay, I think I'll just write 1306. For 7, I can find from here 0.0280. Yeah, if you round off is 0.0280, you add up, you still get this answer, right? So it's quite fast if you use this. Yeah, just key in the calculator and get the answer. All right, but this is only the first part. All right, A Roman 1. Now, next they say, find the probability that in a 4 certain week period, Sarah could complete at least 6 crossword puzzle in 3 out of 4 weeks. Okay, remember the first part, what is your X? X is the number of days. The number of days Sarah complete a puzzle. Yeah, in a week. Correct. So, but the X for the second part is different. Is the number of weeks. The number of weeks Sarah completes at least 6 puzzles in a week out of 4 weeks. Yeah, you don't have to write all this definition out of 4 weeks. So notice that the probability that she complete at least 6 puzzles in a week is this. So your binomial now has n of 4 because it's out of 4 different weeks, right? And the chances that she complete the puzzle in a week is 0.1586. So we need to use 0.1586 as a p now. And you want what? You want she complete in 3 out of 4 weeks. That means your X is 3. Yeah, be careful, because some people get a bit confused. They don't know, is it at least 3? No, it's exactly 3. 3 out of 4 weeks. So you will use NC3, P 0.1586, power 3. Now for Q, right, remember you got to do 1 minus 0.1586, which is 0.8414. Can't do mentally, use your calculator, 0.8414 power 1. Okay, type in your calculator as usual. Or if you have this calculator, we just go to binomial 7, number 4 here, binomial PD. All right, you go to variable for single, list for multiple value that you want. So my X is 3, my N is 4, my P is 0.1586. There you go. A very small value, 0.01343. 0.01343. You can give up to 4 decimal. Normally, I will give everything correct to 4 significant figure, right? It's better, everything for SF, so you don't have to worry about the significant level thing, right? It's always for SF to be safe. Okay, all right. So the first part, Ken, this is a binomial distribution. Okay, let's move on to the second part. Second part is a normal distribution. So for this question, we have height of a group of Form 5 students. They're normally distributed. Now, how do you know whether it's normal or binomial? Normal, they will always tell you. Normally distributed. Binomial, they would not. Okay, with mean of 180, standard deviation of 10. So we are finding what the first part? Percentage of student with height exceed 195. So this is a normal distribution. You can write like this. Maybe I do the first part here. Roman 1. I do the first part here. Height is, mean height is 180, very tall. Standard deviation is 10. Normally we write like this. We write this as 10 squared because this is your variance. Your standard deviation is 10, variance is 100. Yeah, but this notation is not important. I don't want to write, it's okay. We'll just, you don't have to write actually, right? Okay, so we want to find percentage. Before you find percentage, we find the probability. Yeah, percentage of height more than 195. Man, 195 is really tall, right? So this is Z. 195 minus 180 over 10. So this will be 1.5, right? B, Z more than 1.5. Now, of course, you can use your mathematical table. 1.5 is 0.0668, right? You can just use mathematical table, 0.0668. Or you can use your calculator. Now, I think calculator, there are 2 versions. If you're using this calculator, right, you have to go to mode. Let's go to 3 for stats. Go to AC, all clear. Press shift, 1 for stats. press 5 for distribution, press 3 for R. Remember, for this calculator, your upper tail is R. We type 1.5. There you go, 0.0668. Okay, now if you're using this calculator, it's even better. For this calculator, you can press mode 7. Now, you have to go to normal CD number 2. Okay, if you want to calculate based on Z, right, then your lower tail is 1.5 because we start from 1.5. Your upper tail will be 999. Okay, you might think, why 999? Well, 1.5 is here. This thing goes all the way to infinity. Infinity means 999. Yeah, we write 999. You can put other figure. Yeah, so it is 999, standard deviation 1. There you go, 0.0668. Well, alternately, right, you can also change the lower tail to 195, upper tail 999. But you can change your standard deviation to what? Your standard deviation here supposed to be 10, and your mean is supposed to be 180. You can actually start from the original value here without even standardizing. But of course, you need working marks given for standardizing and getting the final answer. There you go. You're still getting the same answer, 0.0668. Okay, since I'm finding percentage, so your percentage, we write, you times with 100, 0.0668. You just switch the decimal point twice, you get 6.68%. Okay, Roman 2. Now, this is an interesting part. 50% of the students have height between H1 and H2. Find the value of H1 and H2 such that these values are as close as possible. Okay, now let me just draw a diagram like this. If you want your H1, H2 to be closest possible, right, they have to be symmetrical. Now, you can't be, for example, if you imagine I put maybe 10% here, right? 10% is 0.4. This is 0.4. Then I put another 10% here. Then it's 40% here. So this one will not be as close as possible, isn't it? Because this will be, you need to go a lot further to the left to get the same area. The further it is from your middle point and mean, right, the smaller the area. The closer it is to the center, the bigger the area. So in order to get a smallest range, if you like, for H1 and H2, you want these two to be smallest possible, right? Doesn't look like it. Maybe I draw like that. Okay, better. So this is 50%. The whole thing is 50%, right? Or 0.5. That means this should be 0.25. This should be 0.25. You can do 1 minus 0.5 divided by 2. Now we know the mean height is 180. This is your H1. This is your H2. Your standard deviation is 10. Now the problem is, how do you even find H1, H2? Well, we have to standardize this. Now, we know when you standardize it, the graph will look about the same, actually. Yeah, it's just that your standard deviation is now 1, right? And instead of having mean of, maybe I put this a bit closer. Oops. Yeah, I put this a bit closer. This part here. Oh, never mind. Instead of having mean of 180, the mean is now 0. The moment you standardize to Z, right, this is your X. X is any normal distribution. This is Z. Z is a standard normal distribution. You do not know what is this value. Okay, this is your X. So I'm going to put an unknown, say A, negative A. A Y, negative A, we know they are symmetrical. So we know this area should be 0.25. Correct? So my goal, my job is to find A first. Then I work backwards and to find H1, H2. Now we know Z more than A. This area is 0.25, right? Remember, the whole thing is, this whole thing is 0.5. This part here, when they are symmetrical, it should be 0.25, 0.25. Okay, how do you find this? Right, if you have this calculator, I'm sorry, or the gray calculator, sorry, you can't, the calculator can't work backwards. You can't find Z from probability. You will have to use a mathematical table. But the thing is, where do you find 0.25? Okay, I need to slowly find 0.25. Okay, take a value slightly more than 0.25. 0.2514, right? So look at this, this is 0.6. This is 7. I need a minus 14. I don't want 14. Remember, it's 0.2514. I need to minus 14. But I don't have 14. I must minus 13. Right? I don't have 14 here because the reason why I minus 14 is because I want to get, let me draw here. I want to minus 14 so I can get 0.2500. Okay, so I don't have 14, I go 13. So you got to add the number on top, which is 4. So how do you read this? 0.674. Yeah, 0.674. Let's go back to this. So my A value is 0.674. Now, if you find this annoying, well, get this calculator. This calculator can solve straight away. You don't need mathematical table anymore. But first, you got to do your mode. Press 7. You go to number 3, inverse norm, right? You type in 0.25. Okay, your standard deviation here, because we are not we're using based on z, so you need to set your standard deviation to be 1, your mean to be 0, right? You will get this. Now notice this calculator gives us a negative value. It's simply because the calculation is based on the lower tail. That means when I say 0.25, it's actually measuring from the left. That's why you get negative 0.674. See this again? Negative 0.674, right? Okay. It's okay. We just drop the negative sign, right? If you see, if you key in 0.25, then you get this. Just drop the negative sign. Okay. Just take positive 0.674. Okay. Well, from here, now we need to take your x value. This is your x value. Remember, x minus mu divide standard deviation gives us our z. So my first z, when you standardize this, you will get negative a, right? So I'm going to write my z as negative a, which is 0.674. My a is 0.674. Negative a, I must put negative in front. My h1 is what I'm finding. My mean height is 180. Standard deviation is 10. So h1 will be, let's take 180 minus 0.674 times 10. Okay, so this will be what? Basically 180 minus 6.74. So I got 173.26. 173.26. Again, you don't have to give such an accurate answer. This is 5SF. You get 173.3 also can. Now, my H2 will be this. When I standardize this, I will get A. So we'll take 0.674, which is my A here, equals to H2 minus mean, divide by standard deviation 10. My H2 is 180. Instead of minus, this is plus 674 times 10. So we can write 186.74, right? So again, you can round off, yeah, to 186.7. Yep. I hope this is not too difficult, right? Okay, next question. Question 9. This is Form 4, Chapter 6, Linear Law. Okay, so here we have a table, yeah, that shows the values of two variables x and y related by this equation, y minus sub r equals r s over x, where r and s are constant. So you're supposed to plot x, y against x. Okay, so the table, this is already given in the marking, the answer space. So we just have to find the value of x, y. Okay, very simple. X, y means we take 1 times 4. I get 4. I think maybe we just put 4.00 to standardize the what do you call the accuracy. But if you don't do that, it's still okay. This is not physics. So physics, we have to make sure all are consistent. So this is 1.5 times 5 is 7.5. Okay, or you can put 7.50. 2.5 times 5.1. 2.5 times 5.1, it gives us 12.75. Okay, 3.5, this is 12.75. Okay, next, let's take 3.5 times 6. 3.5 times 6.3, this gives us 22.05. Okay, let's take 4.5, multiply by 6.5. This will give us 29.25. And lastly, 5 times 6.6, answer is 33. Okay, I'll just put 33.0. Okay, so here's the thing. Now I have a trick to actually predict my gradient y-intercept, right, in advance. Yeah, you can actually do this, okay? Because sometimes when you draw, we don't know whether the line will go below or above. Yeah, we have to like estimate and things like that, right? Sometimes the y-intercept can be negative, right? So it may, if I draw my axis over here, then I may actually miss a point. So I may have to readjust my graph. So one of the things you can do is if you have this calculator, right? Okay, I just show you one calculator will do this calculator, okay? So you can do mode, press 3 for stats, go to 2 for a plus bx. Okay, so your x and y value, you can key all your x value first. X is 1, 1.5, 2.5, then 3.5, and next one, 4.5. And last one is 5. Okay, so this is my x value. Let me go on to the y value. My y value is 4, 7.5. Next one is 12.5. Okay, sorry, 12.75. 12.75. Okay, after that, I got 22.05. Okay, 29.25. And lastly, 33. Okay, so I got all my x and my y in, right? So next thing is just go AC, press Shift 1 for stats, go to number 5, regression. Okay, A is your y-intercept, B is your gradient. So I press 1 for A, my y-intercept is negative 3.89. Yeah, negative 3.89. So I know roughly negative 3.89 or negative 4. All right. So then you press Shift, stats again, go to number 5 for regression, number 2 for B, then you go 7.333. 7.33 is your gradient, right? 7.3. So this actually tell me that my graph will go below, it'll cut below. Your y-intercept will be negative. Yeah. So we need to estimate. The question says that the scale is 2 cm to 1 unit on x, 2 cm to 5 unit on y. So I need more space below here, right? I will need to draw, maybe I put this a little bit higher here. This is 0, all right? X-axis is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maximum is 5. I put x here. All right. Okay, my line will be a bit of a problem because it's not quite difficult to draw a nice line here. Okay, so I'm going to draw this over here. Maximum 5. So, okay, let me use my mouse to adjust it. So it goes like this. Okay, can. And then I draw a vertical line. My vertical line will be from bottom here to the top. I don't know how high it's going to be, so just leave it there first for now. Okay, this is my vertical axis. Okay, so my y-axis, the smallest, the scale is 5. So I know up to here we do negative 5 because my y-intercept is negative 3, negative 3.89, negative 4, around there. So this is 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. We go up to 35. Yeah, because the maximum is 33. So this is your xy versus x. Okay, now let's plot 1 and 4. 4 is around here. Okay, I know it's a bit hard. I have to zoom in, right? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit, easier to see. So the first point is 1 and 4, which is around here. 1.5 and 7.5. 7.5 is exactly in the middle. 2 and 12.75. Well, 12.5 is here. Well, this is 13. 12.75 is a bit hard. You can put in between if you like. So it's here, in between 12.5 and 13, right? Remember, you can read up to half of the smallest box only. If one big box is 5, one small box is 0.5. So the in-between is 12.5. This is 12.5. Then the next one is 13. So we can put in between those two, okay? All right. Next, 22.05, 3.5, 22.05. I can read 22. 22 is over here. All right. Next, I will have the next point is 4.5 and 29. 4.5 and 29. 29 should be 2 boxes here. and 5 and 33. 33 should be above here. Okay, one more time. 33. Okay, now let's draw the line of best fit. Okay, so my line of best fit must pass through as many points as possible, right? And balance if I can. So, and I already know my y-intercept is around negative 3 point something. Now, notice that 1 point is out. I can see 1 point is out. Okay, let me adjust it. Try to get as a nice line. Now, you notice 1 point is out. See that? And one thing you can actually read the next part. I read the whole question, you see. The correct, using the graph part B, they say the correct value y if one of the values has been wrongly recorded during the experiment. So we know 1 point is out, right? So now the point that is out happens here. So we're going to take this out, right? So just to let you know, when this is keyed into a calculator earlier, it does affect your calculation for gradient and the y-intercept. So you can actually go back to just now, shift stats, you go to your data. All right, I know this 3.5, 2.5 is out. So I can delete this, delete, right? So data is off. So I only have 5 points. Yeah, I only have 5 points. It's okay. You go to shift stats, go to regression, go to 1. My y-intercept supposed to be negative 3.3, not 3.8. So it's closer to 3.5. Yeah, negative 3.3. Over here, I just erase this 3.3. Okay, and my gradient, in this case, shift 1 regression, 5 for regression, 2 for B, my gradient is 7.25. Yeah, so this is closer 7.25. Okay. Okay, now what I need to do is to find the gradient and y-intercept from the graph. Okay, so I've done my drawing, right? I need to find the gradient y-intercept so that I can find the value of R and S. Okay, for gradient y-intercept, okay, I like to use 5 boxes horizontally. You have to find gradient because any number divided by 5 is a nice number. And you can see this y-intercept, okay, maybe I just zoom in a bit. It looks like 3.5 because, okay, I'm sorry, a bit hard to see, right? This is 2.5. Some people may say 3. It looks like in between negative 3, right? It looks like negative 3 or negative 3.5. 3.5 is here. Okay, you can use negative 3, you can use 3.5, but 3.33 actually is closer to, okay, like in this case, it looks like negative 3, right? It looks like negative 3. So, okay, I'll just use negative 3. Okay, negative 3, yeah, right? This is 2.5. So this coordinate, if you were to calculate your gradient, will take this point here. This is 9.5 and 33. This is 0 and negative 3. So my gradient is 33 minus negative 3 divide 5 minus 0. Again, I always like to use 5 boxes. So like I say, any number divided 5 is a nice number. So this will be 30. Let's use a calculator. 36, right? Divide by 5. Where's my calculator? 36 mode. Okay, I'm gonna use mode 1, 33 plus 36 divided by 5, 7.2. Okay, I got 7.25 from calculator, but this is 7.2. I think it's very close. It's okay, 7.2. You might get use other point, which is okay as well. I think maybe negative 3.5 should be closer, but from what I gather here is negative 3. Yeah, so it's okay. 7.2, y-intercept negative 3. Okay, now let's write this down. Okay, I'm going to work it out here. From my graph, my gradient is 7.2. My y-intercept is negative 3. Now you go back to your equation here. Your equation is y minus set r equals rs over x. Okay, let me write down. Y minus set r equals rs over x. So I need to convert this to linear form. Remember, your big Y or your y-axis is xy. So number one, I can bring it over. So this is y equals set r plus rs over x. Number 2, I multiply everybody by x. So this is Rx plus Rs. So this is your big Y. This is your gradient. This is your X. And this is your C. Okay, I just need to compare my gradient with the gradient I've got earlier. My gradient here is square root R. Square root R is now 7.2. Okay, if you want to find your R, we take 7.2 square, which is 51.84. Yeah, 51.84. Now, sometimes you may get a slightly different answer. Like some of you may get 7.25, which is the most accurate answer, 7.25. Some of you may get 7.2 something. But like I say, I like to use 5 boxes horizontal because when you take this, the difference between the horizontal is 5. You always get a terminating decimal. Then you won't get a recurring decimal like 7.333. You won't get that, right? So it's easier for us to calculate. All right, and let's talk about your y-intercept. My y-intercept is Rs, and from the graph is -3. R is 51.84. S equals -3. So let's take 3, divide 51.84. Guys, I got 0.05787. Yeah, very small value, -0.05787. Okay, again, you might get a slightly different answer compared to, to this, right? It's because of your y-intercept might be a bit different. You might get -3.5 or 3.25. Yeah. Okay. Now, lastly, the correct value of y, given that one y value is wrongly recorded, we already know this is the wrongly recorded value. The correct value is here, is at 15, right? So when your xy is 15, that is your xy axis, xy is 15. So we know the correct value is when xy equals to 15. Now, this happens when your x is what? 2.5. Yeah. Look at the graph again when x is 2.5, right? So sub inside 2.5 inside your x here. So let's take 15, divide 2.5. You should get 6. 15 divide 2.5. Answer is 6. Okay, there you go. That's your correct value of y. Okay, moving on. Let's look at the next one. The next one is Form 4, Chapter 6, Coordinate Geometry. A very long question. So diagram shows the position of house B, Q, police station S, and there's no R. R is a hospital here. Hospital RHK is here. It lies here. This one is 5, 9. Q is 11. Okay, let me label here. 11, 5. S police station is 2, 1. Okay, so hospital RHK is located inside a triangle that connects police station, house B, house Q, such that the area of all three PSR, which look like this, is your PSR. Okay, and next one, QRS, and third one, PRQ. The all three triangle has the same area, right? So given that 1 unit 1 km, find the area of triangle PQS. Okay, so first we find area of triangle PQS. Okay, PQS, which is the area of the whole thing, right? So now let's start. I think we can start off by using area of triangle PQS. I use half x1, y1. Your P, right, is 5, 9. Q is 11, 5. S is 2, 1. Okay, this is PQS. All right. Now, of course, you got to repeat the first point, 5, 9 again. So let's multiply downwards. Yeah. So this is 5 times 5, 25. 11 times 1, 11. 2 times 9, 18. Minus, this is 99. You can put them together, minus 10 and minus 5. Okay, so you can use a calculator. If you can't do mentally, calculator, 25 plus 11, minus plus 18 minus 99 minus 10 minus 5 minus 15. So it's negative 60. Half of it is negative 60. Answer is 30. Okay. So now remember, if you choose the coordinate P, Q, S in the clockwise direction, then your answer will be positive. Yeah, this it will be negative, sorry. If you choose in anti-clockwise direction, then it'll be positive. So we just take the modulus of it, if you like, right? Because area can't be negative. So we just take answer as positive 30. All right. So first part done. Okay. Second part, find the coordinate of hospital R. Okay, so to find the coordinate of hospital R, right? So we know this area, all three are the same. So we need to form two equations, right? Involving H and K. So we know that this area, because all three areas are equal, so we can say, maybe I start with BSR, area of triangle BSR should be 1/3, because all three are equal, right? It should be 1/3 of 30, because the whole BSQ, the whole thing is 30. The whole big triangle here is 30. If all three triangle has the same area, that means each one must be 10, right? So for PSR, I'm going to use half. Let's start with P. Now, again, this time I'm going to use anti-clockwise, because if I use clockwise, then I put a negative at the back. So it's a bit, how do I say, confusing, right? Remember, when you calculate in a clockwise, whatever I get inside here going to be negative. If I choose anti-clockwise, right? Anti-clockwise, whatever I'm getting inside the bracket here is going to be positive. So let's take anti-clockwise, it's easier. P is 5, 9. Q, I start with S, 2, 1, then do HK, I repeat 5, 9. This will give us 10. All right, so let's multiply downwards. This is the half, you can times it over. This will be 5 plus 5 plus 2K plus 9H. Then you minus, okay, I will do one shot. This is 18 minus H and another 5K. Result is 20. Okay, so let's simplify this. So I'm going to put 9H minus 1H is 8H. 2K minus 5K is negative 3K. So 5 minus 18, negative 13. The result is 20. 8H minus 3K equals to 33. I don't know what to do with it. I'm going to leave it out. Okay, so next, I'm going to find area of triangle. You can use RSQ or even PRQ, up to you. Yeah, whichever that you like. So I think I use QRS. QRS. Okay, so QRS again is going to be 10. You can just take 1/3 of 30, which is 10, right? So let's take half. X1 Q, I'm using QRS. Q is 11, 5. But instead of using Q, don't use QSR, QRS the other way around. I'm using anti-clockwise direction. Remember that. HK, this is 2, 1, repeat 11, 5. The result is 10. So this is 11K. This one is H. This is 10 minus 5H. 2K, 11. This is 20. So put them together. I will have, this time my H is negative. K is positive. 9K minus 4H minus 1 equals to 20. Maybe I will bring it over. 9K minus 4H equals to 21. Equation number 2. All right. Not exactly a nice equation. So let's just solve them simultaneously. Okay, so as I take equation 1, I need to make sure that they have the same coefficient. This is 9K. This is minus 3K. So I'm going to take equation 1 times 3. So I get 24H minus 9K equals to 99. Let's call this equation number 3. Okay, the equation 2, if you can't see it, right, just put it down here. Is minus 4h plus 9k equals to 21. This is your equation number 2. So we take equation 3 plus 2, 20h is now 120. Your k disappear. Your h is now 6. So then we sub inside equation number, maybe I use equation number 2. Well, I want to equation 1 would do lah. Okay, so my h is 6. Okay, my k is unknown, 33. So it's 48 minus 33 is 15. 3k, I bring this over. 48 minus 33, 8 times 6 is 48. Minus 33 is 15. So k is just 5. So your coordinate, you're finding the coordinate of point hospital R, which is HK, right? So your coordinate of point R is 6, 5. Okay, this is very long. Okay, now next one, last part. They say that determine which house is situated nearest to hospital R. Yeah. Is it house B, house Q, or police station? Show you're working. So we already know the coordinate point R, and we know the coordinate all 3 points. Okay, so I think, okay, can see. Let me do my part C over here, right? Okay, by the way, this part B, sorry, I have to continue there. Now, we need to find the distance between each one. So we have to do one by one, no choice. So let's start with the house B to hospital R. We take 6 minus 5 square. Use the formula for distance. 5 minus 9 square root. That's your PR. Okay, so this is 1 and 4. Square root 17. I think square root 17. Okay. Well, then we continue with. Okay, I don't have enough space here. I'll continue B S with R. All right, or Q with R. Q, I know, is 11.5. So I'm going to use, yeah, Q is 11.5, yeah. In case you can't see, your R is 6.5. So 6 minus 11 square and 5 minus 5 square. Okay, actually, you don't have to do this because, let me say, actually horizontal. This line is horizontal, right? So if it's horizontal, we just take the difference. The difference should be 5, isn't it? 6 minus 11 is 5. This one is 0. If you take 5 squared, 25 square root is still 5. Okay, how about R to S or S to R? Okay, S is 2, 1. So we're going to take 6 minus 2 square plus 6. This would be 5. 5 minus 1 square, put a square root. Let's count. This would be 4 and 4. This will be 4 square, 16. 16 plus 16 square root 32. So obviously, we can see this is the furthest away, right? You want to find the closest one. Okay, let's use our calculator. Square root 17 will be the smallest one, right? Just double check. 4.12, right? 4.123. 4.123. Square root 32 obviously is bigger. Square root 32 is 5.657. 5.657. So which house is closest to hospital R? Answer is house B. Yeah, is closest to hospital R. Okay, so just to calculate, find the distance one by one, see which one is the has the shortest distance. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So this is a progression question. All right, let me zoom out a bit. Okay, so now diagram shows a child playing with a swing, right? So the swing is released from position. From the position, it swings through a distance 4 meters in the first swing. On each successive swing, the distance is 4% less. So this process continues until the swing stops. So basically, let's say we start from here. It goes through a distance of 4 meters. So when it goes back, it's now going to travel a shorter distance. that shorter distance, if you want to find, it's going to be 4% less. That means your common ratio, your A is 4. Your common ratio, when you reduce by 4%, you're left with 96. So it's 0.96. Then, of course, you're going to go smaller and so on. Okay. So you want to find the value of n where the n swing cover a distance less than 300. So here we have to use dn, not sn, right? Less than 300. Now be careful. This 300 is in cm. This 4 is in meter. So either you change everything to meter or everything to cm, right? Up to you. Maybe I just write 3 meter. Less than 300 cm means less than 3 meter. So we use A, R, n minus 1 less than 3. So when you divide this, right, this will be 3 over 4. You can write 0.75, right? 3 over 4, 0.75. Now, this is where you have to introduce logarithm. Bring the power down, right? When you take logarithm of any number between 0 and 1, it's going to be negative. If you're not sure, type in your calculator. Let me change this mode. Log 0.96 is negative. So how does this affect answer? When you divide with negative, your inequality sign has to change. This sign has to change, right? Remember that, because some people tend to miss that out. So they tend to forget to change the sign. So it's log 0.75 divide by log 0.96. Whatever I get, make sure you plus 1. Your n is 8.047. Yeah, n is more than 8.047. My n is 9. So it takes how many swing? 9 swing. Right. So that is only the first part. Then total distance traveled before it stopped. Now, when will this stop? Right? Eventually it will stop, right? So yeah, it will stop when your Tn approaches 0. Yeah, the subsequent term will be so small that it becomes almost 0. So we use what we call the sum to infinity. Your sum to infinity in this case is A divided by 1 minus R. But be careful, they ask for distance in cm. So maybe I should use 400 cm divide 1 minus. My common ratio is 0.96. Okay, use 400 cm divide 1 minus 0.96. My answer is 10,000 cm. 10,000 cm. There you go. Okay, that is for the first part. Okay, well, the second part. Yeah, this question, this paper has 2 progression question in one paper. Normally is within the same paper, paper 2, right? They only test 1 time, but this is twice, 2 progression question. Okay, so let's continue with this. Part B. Part A is a geometric progression. Part B, this is an arithmetic progression. So Karenisa bought a set of conical shaped birthday party hat. A set of birthday party hat contains 5 hats of different sizes. She wants to decorate the hat by patching ribbons around the base of the hat. So you see, if this is your hat, right, you want to put a ribbon around the base. That means the base is a circumference of a circle. Remember that? So diameter for each hat increases by 2 cm respectively. Okay, so let me write down the diameter here. The first diameter, do you know what's the diameter of the first one? In fact, no. We know we are supposed to find the length of, in terms of pi, the ribbon to patch on the smallest hat. The smallest hat, we don't even know the diameter. So I'm going to use x. Okay, use the unknown x. So the second one has to increase by how many? 2 cm. The diameter increases by 2. So x plus 2, next one is x plus 4, and so on. You have 5 of them. Okay, so we know that she has total of 30 pi. That means your Sn is 35. But first of all, we need to use, create a progression representing the circumference. Because diameter is the length from here to here inside. I want the circumference. Yeah, this is your diameter. I want the circumference. So circumference, as we know, is pi d. So let's just add a pi that would do a circumference. The first one, it will be pi x. Second one will be pi x plus 2. Next one will be pi x plus 4. Okay. So the main thing to note is I want to find my common difference. I know my A. My A is pi x. My common difference is pi x plus 2 minus pi x. So when you expand this, is pi x plus 2 pi minus pi x, it gives us 2 pi. And I know my total, Sn. In this case, how many heads do you have? She has 5. So Sn, total length of the circumference, must equals 30 pi. And what are we finding? We're finding the diameter, the length of ribbon on the smallest head, okay, which is your A lah. Actually, we don't have to find X first. We want to find the length of ribbon. We want to find A. So I'm going to use n over 2, 2A plus n minus 1 d. D is 2 pi. This result is 30 pi. So maybe I times that 2 inside. When you times the 2 half inside, this becomes A. This one is 8, right? 8 half of it becomes 4 pi. This is 30. 30 pi divided by 5 is 6 pi. All right, my A is just 2 pi. So the diameter, the length in pi for the smallest head is 2 pi. Yeah, you want, you can write 2 pi cm. Okay, now, next, Carissa buy a few more heads to complete her set. She used 18 pi ribbon to patch the largest head. So how many additional head bought by her? Okay, so now we need to know what is your n. We know my A, we know our D. A and D, in fact, in this case, they are the same, but the largest head has length of 18 pi. So let's use A plus n minus 1d equals to 18. Now, if you don't like the 2 pi, you know what? You can just divide by 2 pi. So this becomes 1 plus n minus 1. 18 divided by 2 is 9. The pi disappear. So what's your n? N is 9, right? Because the 1 minus 1 cancel out. N is 9. Okay, so I have 9 head. But the question say, how many additional head? Initially, she has 5. She got 9 now. So the additional number of head is 9 minus 5. The difference is 4. Okay. Okay, let's move on to section C question, question number 12. This is Kinematics of Linear Motion, Form 5, Chapter 8. Okay, so here we have a particle that moves along straight line. Its acceleration is given by this A equals to 6 minus t. So the initial velocity is this. You're finding the time taken for it to reach point A. It comes to instantaneous rest at point A. Now, the problem is we don't know what's your velocity. So remember, we got to integrate acceleration to find velocity. So as I integrate, I get 60, increase the power by 1, t squared over 2 plus c. Initially, when you start the clock, the particle has a speed of velocity of 14. So your v is 14. Now picture this, if your v is 14 here, okay, maybe I just show you this using hand tool. If v is 14, t0, c should be 14. Yeah, c in this case is your initial velocity. So we can write your v as 60 minus t squared over 2 plus 14. So this is your velocity function. Okay, now we know the particle comes to instantaneous rest at point A. That means your v is 0. So let's put 0 inside. So what I need to do is to solve for t. Let's just multiply everybody by -2 so that I can get rid of this negative. I don't want this negative, so it's t squared. 6 times -2 is -12. 14 times -2 is -28. I can factorize this, right? Factor of 28 should be 14 and 2. In order to get -12, 14 must be negative, 2 must be positive. Now we know time cannot be negative. Yeah, time is always positive. We start the clock, t0 is the subsequent value. They are all more than 0. So the time taken to pass, to reach point A is 14 seconds. All right, next, find the distance of OA. So the problem is I do not know what is the displacement function. So you either use definite integral or you use indefinite. That means you find S first by integrating V, right? Or you can straight away integrate, like I say, using definite integral. We integrate from 0 to 14 because we know the maximum is 14, right? It stopped at point A when t is 14. Your function is 6t minus t squared over 2 plus 14 dt. So as we integrate this will be what? 6 divided by 2 is 3t squared, t3 over 3. This is 14t. Lower limit 0, upper limit 14. Okay, so let's put 14 inside. 14 squared is 196. 14 cube. Oh, I don't remember. 14 cube. 2744. All right, you have to divide by 3, then 14 times 14, right? Which is also 196, right? Okay, it's okay. We can just use a calculator and count. So this is 3 times 196 minus 2744 over 3. And then you plus with 14 times 14. There you go. Plus with 14 plus 14. Oh, sorry, this is 6. I wrote this wrongly. This is 6. Okay, this one I wrote this wrongly. When you increase the power by 3 over 3, this is 6, guys. 6. Okay, so let's just count. This one is 6. All right, I got 3, 2, 6, 2 over 3. 3, 2, 6, 2, 3. Now, one way to double check your answer is to use your calculator here. You have this integration button. You type in the original function 6 alpha x minus alpha x squared over 2 plus 14. Lower limit is 0, upper limit is 14. There you go. I got the same answer, 3, 2, 6, 2 over 3. Okay, finally, the maximum speed. I'm going to do it here. Maximum speed for the whole journey from O to A. Okay, maximum speed happens when your A is 0. Yeah, so we take out A, we let it be 0. Your t is 6. Very simple. We just take this sub inside your velocity function over here. 60 minus this, your t is 6. 6 times 6 minus 6 squared over 2 plus 14. Okay, use your calculator. 6 squared, 36. This is 36 over 2. You can just write 18. And then you plus 14. My answer is 32. 32 meter per second. Well, that's your maximum speed. Okay, moving on to question number 13. This is your linear programming question. All right. So, okay, so I'm going to squeeze in everything inside here, a bit small space. All right. Now, we have an electrical shop that sells 2 models of smartphone S and P. Profit made from the sale of smartphone is 80. Smartphone S is 80. Smartphone P is 50. The shop sells X smartphone S, Y smartphone P. Okay, so we have 3 constraints, and we need to write the 3 inequality that satisfy the constraint. So my first constraint is the maximum number of smartphone is 80. So I'm going to write here, in order to get maximum 80, x plus y, maximum means less equals 80. Okay, simple. Second one, the number of smartphone P is your y. Be careful that they put s first followed by p. So y is x is p. So we put y is at least 3 over 4 of smartphone x. Yeah, so this is your second inequality, y greater equals to 3 over 4s x. Okay, next one, total profit. Okay, your profit is 50 ringgit. 80 ringgit. 80 ringgit for x, and then 50 ringgit for y, and must be at least 2,000. Now, you can actually stop here, but if you want, when it comes to drawing graph, we normally want to simplify it, easier to solve it. Actually, you can stop here, but I'm going to simplify this, divide by 10, 8x, 5y greater equals to 200. Okay. Now, I've written the 3 inequality. Now, the next thing is they say use a scale of 2 cm to 10 unit. Okay, draw the region. Okay, so we start with 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. I just put everything first. This is your x. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. I don't think we need to go all the way up. Okay, no, not so high. Okay, now I need a table value. So I'm going to draw my table values here. So the first one is x plus y equals 80. Very simple. To draw a straight line, we need 2 points. Okay, so I'm going to use x is 0, y is 80, right? Imagine when x is 0, sub inside here, y is 80, y is 0, x is also 80. So this will be a straight line. Okay, my point, okay, my line would be, let me draw here, 80, 80 here. Let me adjust this, yeah? So it has to go like this, okay? So this line is x plus y equals 80. Okay, second point is y, second graph of y equals to 3 over 4x. Now, the first point we can use x equals 0, y would be 0. Second point, x 0, y 0 is here. Maybe I use 40, and x is 40, y will be 30. Or you can use 80, 60 also can. Maybe I use bigger value. Well, if I use 80, your y is 60. So 80, 60 is over here. So I need to use my ruler. Join this together. Okay, make sure you pass through this origin here. All right, adjust the line. Oops. Okay, so this is y equals to 3 over 4x. Okay, so the third point the third line I have to use 8x plus 5y equals to 200. Okay, I'm going to use, when x is 0, 200 divided by 5, 40. When y is 0, 200 divided by 8, 25, right? 25. So I need 4, 0, 40, 25, 0. 25, 0 should be here. Okay, so let's see. My graph should be from here to here. Small value. Adjust it a bit. Okay, so now this line is 8x plus 5y equals to 200. Okay, then we have to shade the region. Okay, so the first one, less equals to x plus y less equals 80. So it's below here. Okay, I'm going to use my highlighter. Looks better. It's going to be below here, right? Second part, well, it can be below here. Second part, it must be greater equals to 3 or 4x. So I know it's going to be above here. Third part, the profit must be at least 200. So it's greater equals to this line. So we know the region is inside here. Okay, let me just highlight nicely. Okay, so this is the region R. So you can label it with letter R. Okay, let me draw here R. Okay, now maybe I can draw a straight line for the axis to make it look nicer. Let me just add in the axis here. Oops, it looks a lot nicer. And another line, horizontal axis. So it looks like this. Let me just okay, wait. Okay, it looks a bit ugly. Okay, I've adjusted it. So, okay, so done. The graph part, we are done. Okay, next, the question says, use your graph to find the minimum number of smartphone S. Smartphone S is your X. If 28 smartphone B is sold, okay? So 28 smartphone B, that means your Y is 28. Find your X. Okay, 28 will be around here. Maybe I zoom in a bit. Where's 28? is over here. This is 28. You want to find the maximum, minimum, right? Okay, let's see the question again. You want to find the minimum. Minimum means smaller values of x. My y is 28. So what is my x value? Still a bit hard to see, right? So I'm going to draw here, move it across. It looks like 8. Yeah, it looks like 8. So it's 8. Let me put 8 here. So to answer the first part, we say x minimum is 8. The minimum number smartphone S is 8. Okay, second one, maximum profit. Okay, now we notice that the profit equation is already given here, total profit. Previously, we know profit is 80x plus 50y. So, but this 2000 is a minimum profit. We want to find maximum profit. So we do 80x plus 50y, let it be k. K is your profit function. So we want to optimize the profit. So I need to draw another line that's parallel to the previous line. This line is 8x plus 5y. Okay, so a parallel line to this could be anywhere here. Okay, this looks like parallel, right? I hope it looks parallel to you. Okay, your line doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it looks somewhat parallel, we can move it up. See, I'm moving up here. See, but which point on the region gives us maximum? Now, you can actually take this point, but it's not the maximum. Now, maximum means the point that gives us the largest y-intercept. So when you move this over here, it will give us the largest y-intercept. Okay, well, my point is not very accurate. Yeah, not very accurate. Yeah. Maybe because my line just now wasn't too accurate. So let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, sorry, I'm not very accurate here. So let's just move a little bit. It looks like this one. I can't do 30. Yeah, it could be 46. Yeah, it could be 36. Okay, one way to double check your answer, guys, is to use simultaneous equation. Now picture this. This line x plus y equals 80 and y equals 3 or 4x, they do meet. So I'm going to secretly work this out because my line sometimes may not be super accurate. So this is 80. So this is 7 over 4x equals to 80. My x is 320. So yeah, 320 divided by 7. I should get 45.7 something. Now here's the problem. Can you read 45 point something? No. You must be inside. You cannot take 46. If you take 46, it's outside. So that's a problem. Sometimes you get in between values. We cannot take outside, we take inside. So you're going to move it slightly to inside. All right, so you take 45. Now, yeah, 45, right? So, and how about your y value? 3 over 4 times 45. Okay, that will give us 33, 34, right? 33, 34. So I think we can use 34. Yeah, because 33 is inside. It should be 33 is below. You want it to be up inside. So it's 30, 45, 34. Okay, so that's this one way to double check your answer by solving them. Okay, so if I take, you see, if you take outside, I can't take 36. 36 is outside. So I have to take 35. I can't take 40, 46. I have to take 45. So it should be 45 and 34. Okay, sorry, my line not very good. Okay, I tell you what, I'm just going to label like this. Very hard to see. All right, is the coordinate, the right coordinate should be inside here at 45, 30, 35, 34, not 35, 34. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, say lower, not 35, 34. Okay, so let's take this value and say that from the graph, K is maximum, right? The profit is maximum at 45, 34. 45, 34. So your maximum value of K is 80 times 45 plus 50 times 34. Let's see, 80, 45 plus 50, 34. So my answer is 5,300. Now, you might get a slightly different answer, 5,300, but I'm slightly different answer because the accuracy may be a bit off. Yeah. Okay. But like I said, you've seen what I showed you just now. I use simultaneous equation to solve for this. I can't take 46 because 46 is outside. I can't take 33.75 because it's below. I want it to be inside the region. So I have to take 45, 35. Okay. So sometimes your graph may not be as accurate. You may get a slightly different answer, right, as a result. Okay. Okay, let's move on. This is one of the hardest question, and actually this question is cloned from SPM 2003 question. Very long question. Solution of triangle. Okay, so first of all, you can see a diagram shows a 10 VABC in the shape of a pyramid with triangle ABC as a horizontal base. V is the vertex of the 10. Angle between the inclined plane and the base is 50. Okay, I hope you already know angle between two plane, right? Number one, we know inclined plane VBC and the base ABC, the common, the intersecting line is BC. So I need to draw a perpendicular line to each plane. The first plane is the base. Let's say I draw a line here. Okay, my line not very straight. Is this line. The second line is this line. Yeah. So the angle between the inclined plane and the base is, in this case, is 50 over here, right? Let me use a black pen. This angle is 50. Okay, what else do you have? They say that the length of VB is 2.2, VC is 2.2. These two are isosceles. The base is 2.6, AC is 2.6. Let's call this as M. Yeah. And the first part, I'm finding the length of BC. Okay, so I'm going to draw for first part. This is a very long question. Yeah, try to squeeze everything inside if I can. Okay, so the base is this. Okay, so this is C, this is B, this is A. This is 2.6, 2.6. And I'm finding the length of BC. Well, given the area is 3, so we can use area triangle half AB sine C first to find angle BAC. So I know half AB sine BAC, it will give us 3. So let's find angle BAC, right? So use a calculator in degree mode. So we take 3, you times 2, divide 2.6, divide 2.6. I'll use 2.6 square. Whatever I get, straight away, shift, sign, answer equals 62.57, right? 62.57. Okay, if I know this is 62.57, I can now find the length of BC by using cosine rule. So my BC, if I square it, is 2.6 square plus 2.6. Remember, cosine rule A square equals to B square plus C square minus 2BC cos of the angle in between, 62.57. Okay, so to find this, okay, use a calculator. Now, since I got 2.6 times 2.6, I mean plus it, I just times 2, minus 2 times 2.6 times 2.6, I square it, times cos 62.57. Okay, whatever I get, immediately square root, answer equals 2.700. So my BC is 2.700 meter. All right, so I've got the first part, very long for 2 marks, okay? All right, second part, find the length of AB if the angle between straight line AB and the base is 25. Okay, if you focus on this triangle, this is 25, okay? So when you look at this triangle, we already have length of 2 sides. That means I already have, I have this angle, 50. I have this 25. I have A, V here. This is M. M is the midpoint BC. So I need to find the length of AB. That means I'm finding this length. So what I need is the length of VM. Now, if you look at the slanting plane, this is VM. VM. This is perpendicular in the center. This is your B. This is, I put C here, 2.2. So we can find VM. If BC is 2.7, your MC should be half of 2.7, which gives us 1.35. If this is 1.35, this is 90 degree, we can find VM by using Pythagoras. 2.2 square minus 1.35 square root, right? Let's count. 2.2 minus 1.35 square, put the square root over, I got 1.737, yeah? 1.737. Now, why is this important? Because I need 1.737 to find AV. Now, I already know these two angles. I just need to use sine rule to find AV. So AV divided by sine 50 equals 1.737 divided by sine 25. Okay, use your calculator. 1.737 divide sine 25. So whatever I get, I times with sine 50. There you go. 3.149. AV is 3.149. Okay, now in my opinion, right, actually they don't need to give 25 degrees because we can actually find AM using the same way. We can find AM and then we can use cosine rule to find AV. Because if you use AM, because AM, if I use Pythagoras, 2.6 square minus 1.35 square, I can get AM. Then my answer might be different if this compared to this when this is 25. But anyway, I just use what they gave us. So I don't have to find AM. I find VM. I use sine rule to find the length of AV. Okay, now the last part is the hardest part. Angle between two slanting plane VAB and VAC. Okay, VAB and VAC. Okay, when you have two planes, they intersect. And we're finding the angle between them. Number one, as what I did just now, right? The BC line, right? We need to find the intersecting line. In this case, both actually intersect AB. Now, read the question again. VAB, VAC. VAC is the left-hand side. VAB is, okay, VAB is the left-hand side. If you're seeing from this side, VAC is the other side. So when you look at this, let me redraw the view from the middle. This is your, well, I actually have it here. See, VBC is here, right? So you're actually finding the angle between them here, right? And this angle between them, remember, this is your perpendicular line. This is your intersecting line. Your perpendicular line to the first plane is here. The perpendicular line to the second plane is here. This is 90 degree. That's 90 degree. You're finding this angle here, right? Okay, so it's very annoying, very long. You need to first find this length here, because when they close, right, the two silver line here, let's say we call this N, this line NB and the line NC, they will overlap, right? But before you find this length, I need to find area, right? We can use, because we don't know anything else. I mean, if you look at the triangle on this side here, okay, let me just, there are many ways to do it, but I think maybe we just use area. Okay, let me just show you here. This is the VAB, this is VAB. This is VAB, your N is here. Okay, so if I know this length, right, I will be able to find the other side will be the same because the two sides has the same area. Then I'll be able to find this length. Okay, now let's just use the area. Okay, so since I really know AV, AV is 3.149. I know AB 2.6. I know VB 2.2. I'm going to use Heron's law. All right, so Heron's law, S equals to 2.6, 2.2, 3.149 divided by 2. Okay, so this is your semi-perimeter. So 2.2, 2.6, 3.149. Whatever I get, divided by 2 equals 3.975. You can use 3.975 up to you, or more decimal point. Yeah, 3.97. Okay, I think I'll take 975. 975 is enough. Okay, so your area, remember, is given by A sum your semi-perimeter. Okay, let me just do it here. My semi-perimeter is 3.975. You subtract 3.975 with the first length, 2.6, 3.9, not 7, 3.975 with the second one, 2.2, and the third one, 3.975 with 3.149. Very long, 3.149. Now, one thing to cut short your working when you type in your calculator is take this 3.975, okay? Then you use the answer button, square root, answer, bracket, answer minus 2.6, all right? Then answer minus 2.2, bracket, answer minus 3.149, okay? And I got 2.831, okay? 2.831. You might get a slightly different answer because of the accuracy, because if I use 945, right? Okay, let's see. If I use 3.94745, then my answer might be a bit different. See, square root, answer, bracket, answer minus 2.2. All right, answer minus 2.6 and answer minus 3.149. Okay, see, this is 2.829. Perhaps I should use this one, right? I should use 75. Okay, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't affect. Yeah, maybe it does. Okay, yeah, if you use you get 2.829. Okay, maybe I just change it. 2.829 is better, more accurate. This is for 745. Yeah, 829, 745, 3.9745 minus 2.6, 3.9745 minus 2.2, and 3.9745 minus 3.149. This is using Heron's law. Okay, so I've got this area already. Now I want to find the height. Like I say, I call this n. I call it n. So this is bn. So we can use half times base times height. Sorry, I have to continue here. Your base is 3.149. Your height is bn. The length, the area is 28.29. Right, 28.29. 2.829. Sorry, 2.829. 2.829, very small value. Okay, let's take this and divide 2.829 times 2 divide 3.149. I got 1.797. Bn is 1.797. Okay, so I already know these two sides. Okay, I know this is slanting, guys. It's not the same as VBC. It is here and BC. Your BN and CN are the same, 1.797, 1.797. You're finding this angle. You already know the length of BC, which is 2.700. Yeah, BC we got earlier. So we are finding B and C, or we can call it theta. So this is the angle between the two planes. Yeah, I must say this is quite difficult for most people, right? Cos theta will be, we take, this is another version of cosine rule. We rearrange it, right? So we have to write b squared first, 1.797. Okay, if you're not sure, it's a squared equals b squared plus c squared minus 2bc cos a, right? So I bring cos a over, I take b squared plus c squared, I minus your a squared. Whatever I get, I divide by 2bc. So in this case, it's 1.797 square plus 1.797 square minus your a, 2.7, minus 2.700 squared divided by 1.797, 1.797. Okay, well, we can straight away use your calculator, guys. I will take 1.797 square. I just times 2. You minus 2.7 square. All right, you divide by 2 times 1.797 times each other. I just square it. So whatever I get, I shift cos answer equals 97.40, right? Oh, I must say this question is a bit too much, a bit too difficult, right? Especially the last part here, right? And it's a bit too long for 10 marks. All right. Okay. Okay, last question. This is index number. So I'll zoom in a bit. Okay, so the first part. Now, table shows the price indices, changes in price indices and weightages for 4 ingredient ABC used in to produce a type of drink. So calculate the price of ingredient D in 2015 if the price in 2018 was 750. Okay, we already know the price index for D. Yeah? So if you look at D, right, this is A Roman 1. Okay, A Roman 1. So the price in 2018, I know 780. The price in 2015, I don't know. You multiply by 100, your price index is 118. So to find the price in 2015 for item D, we'll just take 750 times 100 divide 118. Okay, just bring the P15 up, bring the 118 down. I got 6 ringgit and 36 ringgit and 36 cent. Yeah, RM 6 ringgit 36 cent. Okay, next. Roman 2. Find the value of P when the composite index for 2018 based on 2015 is 137. Okay, before you find composite index, right, we need to know the weightage. So the weightage comes from your percentage of usage. We just divide everybody by 10, 3, 2, 4, 1. Your composite index is now 137. So let's take 145. From here, you multiply by 3, take P times 2, take 136 here, you times with 4, and 118, you times with 1. Total weightage is 10. You're not sure, you can just add them up. 3, 2, 4, 1. Result 137. Okay, let's count. 2P plus, this will be 145 times 3 plus 136 times 4 plus 118. So this gives us 1097, right? So 1097, we know this is 10, 10 times 137 is 1370. So 1370, you minus this answer, your 2P is 273. You just divide by 2, you will get 136.5. Okay, pretty simple. All right, that's number A Roman 2. Okay, the next part, I have to turn to the next page. Yeah. Okay, they say find the composite index for the year 2020 based on the year 2015. Okay, I still can do in this page. I think it's easier just do in this page because the question is there, the diagram are all here. So the first thing you need to know is that when you increase from 2018 to 2020, when you increase by 25%, the index is 125. Unchanged is 100. Drop by 10% is 90. Unchanged is another 100. So now, to calculate this change, right, first of all, you need to understand that there are 3 years involved, 2015, 2018, 2020. So let's start with item A. This is 145. Increase by 25% is 125. To find the overall increment, right, so your item A, your index, we can calculate like this. This is, maybe I count item A, your index. Okay, let me write the index here. Item A, we'll just take 145 times 125 divide by 100. Okay, so this is the simplified chain rule. 145 times 125 divided by 100 is the same as times 1.25. I got 181.25. Yeah, 181.25. Okay, so 181.25. Then for item B, we will take your P. We already have our P, right? 136.5, right? Now, the good news is if you times with 100, the second part is 100 here, you divide by 100, is still 136.5. For item C, I'm going to move this up a bit, be hard to see. Okay, for item C, you have 136, drop by 10% is 90, divide by 100. So we take 136 times 0.9, 0.9 here, I got 122.4. And lastly, item D, 118, unchanged is 100, divided by 100 is still 118. Okay, so to find the composite index, very simple. The weightage remains the same. The weightage is still 3241. So your composite index, this is from 2015 to 2020. Now, don't write this is okay one. This is just a notation. So we take 181.25 multiplied by 3, 136.5 multiplied by 2, then 122.4 multiplied by 4, lastly 118 you times 1, divide by total weightage. We know earlier our total weightage is 10. Okay, so let me just count. Okay, use your calculator. 181.25 times 3, 136.5 times 2, plus 122.4 times 4, plus 118. Whatever I get divided by 10, right? So you should get 142.44. Yeah, 142.44. Okay, all right. Now, lastly, one more part I do it here. Hence, calculate the cost of producing the drink in the year 2020 if the corresponding cost in 2015 is 140. Okay, remember, these are the overall costs, yeah, that goes into production of making a drink. So your from 2015 to 20, your cost has increased by 42.44%. So we know the cost in 2015 is 140. So the cost in 2020 is an unknown. Cost in 2015 is 140. You times 100. The result must be 142.44, which I got earlier, right? So the price in year 2020 is therefore, let's count, 142.44 times 1.4 divide by 100. Guys, I got 1.99. Yeah, RM 1 ringgit 99 cent. All right. Okay, so that's the end of a discussion for this Selangor paper 2. Yeah, I hope you learned something from this video discussion. Right. Thank you very much for watching. Yeah, hope to see you in the next video.